Good morning, friends and my dear children. So today's topic for us is ionization energy. Okay, we were discussing about what? We were discussing about periodic properties. In the previous video, we have learnt about atomic radius and how atomic radius is varying in groups and periods. And also we have learnt, in the next video, we have learnt comparison of size of ions. Okay, so next thing which we have to learn is about second periodic property, that is ionization energy. Okay, so this is Lalita Peri, your chemistry teacher. Okay, and working for all of you. So you all are in hurry of exams, worrying about your exams which are going to start within 1.5 months, I think so, right? So no worry, dear children. If you keep strong determination for yourself, definitely you can do very well in the exams. Okay, but whatever happens sides of us, no distractions. Okay, without any distractions, if we are going to concentrate on our studies, definitely we are going to get very good success in our life. Okay, so no other avocations, only studies. Our concentration should be only on studies. Then definitely success comes in our way, right? Okay, so let us start with the today's topic, that is second periodic property is about what? Ionization energy. Okay, a very important topic, ionization energy. Okay, so what is meant by ionization energy and how does this ionization energy varies in groups and periods? Okay, it is one of the periodic properties, isn't it? So ionization energy is defined as what? The minimum energy required. Okay, minimum energy required to remove an electron from valence shell of an atom. Okay, now the minimum energy required to remove an electron, from the valence shell. Okay, now from the valence shell of a neutral gaseous isolated atom. Neutral gaseous isolated atom. You call it as what? Ionization energy. Okay, now the energy required to remove an electron from the last orbit of an atom, you call it as its ionization energy. Okay, to remove an electron, you need to give some energy to atom. Okay, so that energy which is required to remove an electron from where we have to remove electron? From valence shell. Okay, now from last orbit of a neutral atom. Okay, what is neutral atom? Means without having any charge. Okay, normal atom in which no electrons and protons are removed. Okay, first attempt we are making to remove one electron. Okay, that's why you should take what? Neutral atom. From neutral atom, gaseous isolated atom. It's not compulsory that it must be a gaseous atom only. Okay, you call it as energy, ionization energy. Okay, the energy required to remove electron. Okay, so that is the definition for ionization energy. And this here, generally ionization energy, you will find it in three ways. Like if you take one electron, if you remove one electron from an atom, you call it with name first ionization energy and you will represent it with letter IE1. Okay, and if you are going to remove one more electron, then it will become IE2. IE means what? Ionization energy. One more electron, third electron also if you want it to remove, then it will become what? IE3. Okay, so generally IE means ionization energy. First ionization energy, IE1. Okay, generally representation. General representation is what? General representation of ionization energy. In what way we have to represent? Okay, let us take a substance M. Okay, an element M. From that, you are taking out electron from it. Okay, now you are taking out electron. To take out that electron, you need to supply some amount of energy. Isn't it or not? To take out that electron, you need to supply some energy to this. Here M means what? Here M means some element. Okay, any element you can take. M means any element. Okay, so M gets converted into what, Nana? M plus ion. Because you are taking out what? You are taking out one electron. Remove one electron. Okay, so if you are taking out one electron, okay, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, if you are taking out one electron, okay, it turns into what? Unipositive ion, M plus, because one electron gone out. Okay, and here you are giving some energy. Okay, here delta H. Okay, you are representing it with what? Delta H. What is delta H? Delta H is change in energy, or in other words you can also call it as what? Change in enthalpy. Okay, enthalpy or energy, anything you can say, right? So delta H means that change in energy itself, you call it as what? Ionization energy. So you are calling it with, or you are representing it with IE1. Okay, and now suppose from this unipositive ion, okay, this is neutral atom, right? M is some neutral atom. Okay, some neutral atom. From that neutral atom you removed one electron, means it turns into what? Unipositive ion. This M plus is what? Unipositive ion. What is uni? Single. Positive charge. Single positive charge. Single electron taken out. So one plus charge you need to represent. Isn't it? So unipositive ion. You call it as what? Unipositive ion. Okay. Now from that unipositive ion, from M plus, okay, if you remove one more electron, okay, remove one more electron. If you remove one more electron, this will turn to what? M plus 2. Okay, now this will become what? M plus 2. And this you are representing it as what? Dipositive ion. Dipositive ion. Okay, and for removing second electron, you need to supply some more energy, and that you are representing it with IE2. Okay, first ionization energy is IE1 and second ionization energy is what? IE2. Okay, now IE2 means second ionization energy. IE1 means first ionization energy. Okay, how you will get second ionization energy? To remove one more electron. If you remove one more electron from a unipositive ion, okay, then the energy required, you call it as what? Second ionization energy, and you are going to represent it with IE2. Similarly, if you can remove one more electron from dipositive ion, okay, now from dipositive ion remove one more electron, okay, then that dipositive ion turns to what? Tripositive ion, M plus 3. Okay, now it is what? Tripositive ion. And here the energy required, you are representing it with what? IE3. Okay, and you are calling it as what? Third ionization energy. So if you remove one electron, from a neutral atom, the energy required, you are calling it as IE1. If you remove one more electron from unipositive ion, then it turns to dipositive ion M plus 2, and that energy required, you are calling it with name IE2, second ionization energy. And from that second ionization energy, from that dipositive ion, if you remove one more electron, then it will turn to M plus 3. Okay, na M plus 3 tripositive ion, and the energy which is so required, you're calling it with name third ionization energy. So IE1, IE2, IE3. Sometimes questions will be asked in such a way that which is the highest. Okay, obviously IE3 is highest, isn't it or not? Obviously IE3. What is IE3? Third ionization energy. Okay, IE3 is highest, isn't it? Okay, order IE3 is greater than IE2 is greater than IE1. Means what? Third ionization energy is highest. Why? Because to remove one electron, a little energy if you supply, it is enough. But to remove 3 electrons or 2 electrons means lot much energy is to be supplied to that atom. Okay, atom cannot readily lose electrons until and unless you give external energy to remove that electron. Why we have to remove that electrons, ma'am? Because for the formation of bonds, for the formation of chemical bonds, electrons has to come out. Okay, ions has to form. Okay, with the formation of ions only, okay, bond formations can be possible. That's why energy is to be supplied to the atom to remove electron from the atom. Okay, so that energy you are calling it with name what? Ionization energy. And to remove more number of electrons means more ionization energy is required. Of course, it depends on the nature of the elements also. Suppose if it is metals, if it is a case of metals, metals are highly electropositive in nature. So metals have the tendency to readily lose electrons. For them, high ionization energy is not required. They readily loses electrons. We'll learn about that also. Right? So IE3 is greater than IE2 is greater than IE1. And sometimes in the exams they are asking the question representation. Okay, how you are going to represent IE1? This is a representation for what? M gives rise to M plus. This is a representation for IE1. M plus gives rise to M plus 2. This is a representation for IE2. M plus 2 gives rise to M plus 3. This is a representation for IE3. Okay, and order of ionization energies. That is also they are asking nowadays. Right? So this is one important thing. Now we are going to learn about units. What are the units in which we have to means what are the units for measuring ionization energy? Ionization energy is expressed in what units? Okay, units to express ionization energy, because it is a kind of energy can be expressed in joules, calories, electron volts, isn't it or not? So different units are there to express ionization energy. What are the different units? Okay, so that is very much important. So ionization energy can be expressed in different units like what? Kilocalories per gram or kilojoules per gram or kilojoules per mole. Okay, what we call electron volts per atom. EV means what? Electron volts per atom. So these are the different units in which we are going to express ionization energy. Okay, different units. Sometimes they may ask these units also for 1 mark question. Okay, so please remember the units also. Okay, and here you also has to remember one important point. 1 electron volt per atom is equal to 23.06. Okay, now 1 electron volt per atom is equal to what? 23.06 kilocalories per mole. Okay, now this conversion also they may ask. Kilocalories per mole. 1 electron volt per atom is equal to 23.06 kilocalories per mole. Or if they ask in joules, okay, if they ask in joules, sometimes they may ask even in joules also. So you have to write that value also, isn't it? So 1 electron volt per atom is equal to, in kilocalories it is 23.06. Okay, now in kilocalories, in kilojoules per mole, 96.39. 96.39 kilojoules per mole. Okay, now, so these are the different units. Units for what? Units for ionization energy. Okay, so these are the different units for ionization energy, right? So please note down the units also. And next we are going to learn about what? Variation of ionization energy in groups and periods. Okay, variation of, next side heading, you can keep next side heading as what? Very important question this is. Variation of ionization energy in groups and periods. Variation of ionization energy in groups and periods. First we will learn in groups how ionization energy varies in groups. First we will learn about that, and then we will learn how does it vary in periods. Okay, now how does this ionization energy varies in periods, that also we will learn, right? So let us learn. In groups, groups means what we have learned from top to bottom. Groups means vertical columns. Please remember, groups means what? Vertical columns. So in any group from top to bottom, okay, in a group from top to bottom, ionization energy decreases. In a group from top to bottom, in a group from top to bottom, ionization energy decreases. Ionization energy decreases. Means what? From in any group, if you compare from first element to the last element in the group, if you see, ionization energy decreases. Means first element in the group will take a little more energy to remove an electron, we require more energy. Whereas for the last element, little energy if you supply, it's enough. Okay, it will be enough. Electron can come out of it. Why that difference you are finding? Why you are finding that difference? Because of increase in size, isn't it? Down the group, atomic radius, what happens to atomic radius? Atomic radius increases, isn't it? Because of what? Because of increase in size. Increase in size of that atom. Okay, so this point is very much important. Let us see with the examples. Okay, suppose if you take 1A group elements, okay, except hydrogen, all are metals only. Okay, metals means highly electropositive, they readily lose as electrons. Okay, whatever it may be. Suppose if you take 1A group element, hydrogen first element in the group, 1s1. Okay, lithium second element, 1s2, 2s1. Size is big. Extra energy shell is coming and adding up. Size is increasing. Okay, if size is increasing, what happens? In case of hydrogen, only first orbit is filled. But in case of lithium, second orbit also filled. Size increased. Size increases. Size increases means what? Distance between nucleus and the last orbit increases. Okay, that means what happens? Nuclear charge decreases. Nucleus cannot able to pull the electron, because if size is becoming more, what happens? Influence of nucleus on the last orbit electron decreases. Okay, now what happens? Size increases means nuclear charge decreases. If size increases, nuclear charge decreases. If nuclear charge decreases, what happens? Easily you can remove electron. Much energy you need not to supply. Isn't it or not? If nuclear charge decreases, easily we can remove the electron. Okay, now easily we can remove electron. So ionization energy, what happens? Decreases. Ionization energy decreases. Okay, now ionization energy decreases. Much energy you need not to supply. Easily the electron can be removed. Okay, so first element in any group requires more energy. You need to supply more energy to that atom to take out electron from it. Okay, suppose lithium, after that sodium, potassium, rubidium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Cesium, francium, if you take, they are very big atoms. Okay, na? Here 3s1, here 4s1, 5s1, 6th orbit means very far from nucleus. Isn't it or not? 6th orbit, 7th orbit. Cesium, if you take, cesium 55 atomic number. Okay, first orbit, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. See how much distance? Very far from nucleus. Isn't it or not? Nucleus is here, electron is here. Very far from nucleus. If the influence of nucleus decreases, that electron can nicely escape out of the atom. You need not to supply much energy. So if size keeps on increasing, okay, what happens? If size keeps on increasing, ionization energy decreases. So in any group, size increases from one atom to another atom. So if size increases, ionization energy decreases. Means what? You can easily remove one electron from the last orbit. Because why? Because nuclear charge decreases. Isn't it? Influence of nucleus on the last orbit electron decreases. That's why you can remove electron easily. Right? So in any group from top to bottom, size of the atom increases. That's why what happens? Ionization energy decreases. Why it decreases? Because of decrease in nuclear charge. Okay, now distance increases, nuclear charge decreases. Okay, so that is regarding groups. Now coming to periods. Variation of ionization energy in periods. Okay, now variation of ionization energy in periods. So in any period from top to bottom, in any period from left to right, not top to bottom, please remember that point, left to right, in any period from left to right, in any period from left to right, ionization energy increases. Okay, now ionization energy increases. Okay, so but here if you go for the second period elements, I am taking second period elements because first period consists of only two elements, hydrogen and helium. Okay, second period elements if you take lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Okay, if you take second period elements, let us see the magic here. Here lithium atomic number 3, 1s2, 2s1. Beryllium atomic number 4, 1s2, 2s2. Boron 5, 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Okay, so here you all know that size of lithium is bigger. Okay, size of lithium is bigger and size of neon is smaller. We have learnt. From left to right, atomic radius decreases, size decreases. Okay, so if you see here, lithium will have high ionization energy. Okay, some amount of ionization energy is there. Okay, so what happens? As size decreases, ionization energy increases. Okay, lithium to beryllium size decreases, ionization energy increases. Okay, again beryllium to boron, it has to increase. But in second period elements, ionization energy does not follow regular trend. Okay, ionization energy does not follow regular trend. This is a general statement. Okay, but increases, this generally we say. But sometimes what happens is, if you find half filled and completely filled orbitals in the last orbit of any atom, that particular elements are considered to be highly stable. Okay, so for such stable elements, ionization energy required will be very high. Okay, irrespective of the size. Remember this point carefully. Please understand this point carefully. Okay, what I am going to tell you is, here if you go for lithium, okay, so in electron volts, it is almost around 5.4 electron volts of energy is required to remove electron from last orbit of lithium. Okay, then if you go for beryllium, okay, now if you go for beryllium, it increased 9.3. Then if you go for boron, again it is decreased 8.2. This decrease This decrease, why you are observing? Okay, why you are observing? See here, from here to here increased. Okay, as according to the statement, we can understand. But 9.3 from beryllium to boron, why it got decreased? 9.3 to 8.2 electron volts only. Why it has decreased? That point you need to understand carefully. I'll tell you that. Okay, and now see for carbon 11.2. For carbon 11.2 electron volts. For nitrogen 14.5. For nitrogen 14.5. And for oxygen again decreased 13.6 only. Okay, but general statement is getting valid here. No, that's why I am saying in general, in any period from left to right, this general statement, of course, it works. But in second period elements, not only second period, but mostly wherever you are coming across half filled and completely filled subshells. Okay, once you compare these two, here 1:2:1. Okay, from here to here size decreases, it is completely filled. S orbital is completely filled. Okay, completely filled. Please remember, that's why more ionization energy is required. But for boron, it's neither completely filled nor half filled. So much ionization energy not required. That means no one is acting like a means security for that electrons. Easily that electron can be taken out. Okay, there is no security guard. That means anybody can escape nicely, isn't it or not? So same like that here also. Here no half filled, no completely filled. So much ionization energy not required here. Easily you can take out electron. That's why. But here 2s2. S orbital's capacity is 2 electrons. 2s2 means completely filled. Please remember that point. Here it is completely filled. Completely filled what? S subshell. Can you able to see? Completely filled S subshell. Okay. Now coming to nitrogen. Nitrogen to oxygen also it happened like that only. Once you see. Nitrogen 14.5. But oxygen means it should increase according to this statement. Please understand carefully. But here it is decreased. Why decreased? Here nitrogen once you see atomic number is 7. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Half filled. Nitrogen is what? Half filled. P orbital's capacity is how many electrons? 6 electrons. But here it is 3. 3 means half only, no? So half filled shell. More ionization energy is required. Half filled means highly stable. Half filled means what? Half filled and completely filled orbitals are what? Highly stable. Highly stable means it's difficult to take out electron from them. Tight security is there. Okay, na? Tight security is there. You cannot take out electron from it. Okay, but here for oxygen, last orbit electrons are neither half filled nor completely filled. That's why no tight security. So much energy not required. So from here to here, ionization energy decreases. Okay, and then fluorine. Again it increases. And for neon, size is very small, so again it increases. Okay, so like that, generally what we say, in second period, ionization energy does not follow regular trend. i.e. does not follow regular trend. This point you have to remember. Okay. Ionization energy does not follow a regular trend in second period elements. Okay, because half filled and completely filled orbitals are what? Highly stable. Please remember that point. Okay, so please note down what all being written by me on the board. Please make a note. Okay, take a pen and a copy and please note down and write and practice. Okay, so this is about variation of ionization energy in groups and periods. So in the next class, we are going to learn about factors affecting ionization energy. Okay, until then, keep learning, happy learning. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.